Hi, so please could you introduce yourself? Tell me a bit about who you are and where in Harris you work.
Yes, definitely. Hi, I'm Emily Smith. I'm head of primary here at Harris Academy Tottenham. I've worked for the Federation for about 10 years or just over, and have worked for Harris Academy Tottenham for the last 8.
Amazing, a long time. And you are one of our three Harris Federation runners who are taking part in the London Marathon this year. I wanted to say next year, but it's this year. Could you tell us a bit about your experience of running?
Yes, definitely. So I started running about 10 years ago, and within that, I've run 7 marathons so far. So this will be number 8. I really enjoy running. I think it's really good kind of for exercise, but also for kind of mental well-being. And I'm currently up to week 6 for the training. So the big run this week is 16 miles. So we'll see how that goes.
Amazing, yeah. So you've done 7 marathons before. What keeps you coming back to wanting to do more of them?
They're just really, they're a real sense of achievement once you do them. I think it's really enjoyable. When you're doing it, the training is not so enjoyable, but I've done London a couple of times, and the crowds are just amazing, and you really feel part of something special. And yeah, no, it's really exciting and really good for kind of motivation as well.
Completely. As somebody who's done London once and probably once only, I can 100% agree about the experience of the crowds and just the general joy on the day. But I also agree with you that the training through winter was not joyful, or not exclusively joyful. So it'd be really good to hear a bit about, did you say you were at 6 weeks? Week
Yeah.
6? Yeah. So week 6, how is your training going so far?
Yeah, so it's going well. I started just before Christmas, when the weather was not very kind. So I think I've managed to run in a lot of wind and rain. So that hasn't been very pleasant. At the moment, I'm doing 5 runs a week. So I run from home from work a couple of times a week, and then on Saturday or Sunday have a bigger run. So I've run about 150 miles within the practice so far, up to 6 weeks, and then, as I said, it's the big run, 16 miles on Sunday. I'm hoping that goes well, and then we push to 18 and 20 in future weeks. So yeah, it's going okay at the moment. Touch wood.
It sounds like it's going incredibly well. The fact that you've already run 150 miles collectively, it's bonkers. Wow. And could you tell us a bit about who you're raising money for and why?
Yeah, so I'm, really feeling honoured to raise money for Harris Academy Tottenham, our school. I think it's an amazing cause because our children are just so fantastic. The families are amazing, and our staff are incredible. We really want to raise money to kind of support our families further, and so every bit helps. Our end goal is to kind of create an outside learning space that children can use at playtime and lunchtime, and that we could have it for families as well. But also, it will help us create lots of experiences within the academy. So thinking about our enrichment program and what other opportunities we can provide for our children, because we want to, it's a big world and we want to provide them with so many experiences, and so it's just creating the kind of funding opportunity for that.
Yeah, that sounds like a really sort of tangible project that this marathon is raising money for. And it'd be interesting to know a bit about your school population and kind of the local area that Harris Tottenham's based in.
Yeah, so Harris Academy Tottenham is based in Tottenham Hale, which is in the borough of Haringey. The academy was actually created following the 2011 riots in Tottenham, and it's Haringey, as you may know, is one of the 4th most deprived areas in London, and that brings a lot of issues within that. And that affects lots of our families. So, we've got 2,600 households in Haringey live in temporary accommodation. The borough has the 8th highest rate of domestic abuse with injury in London. And there's obviously lots of kind of serious violence around knife crime as well. So there are lots of challenges within the borough, which, makes our kind of cause and, our plan for fundraising even more important, I think.
Of course it does, definitely. Yeah. So if I were to sponsor you in the marathon and if I were able to give you, let's say, £20, how could that make a difference to the collective target?
That would make a huge difference, because we, as I said, every little bit helps, and £20 would mean that a child could go and on lots of those trips and experiences that I was talking about, it meant that they could go on one of those. It might be that it could go towards some uniform for a child, and it could even go towards one of those enrichment sessions. So £20 goes a long way. So please do sponsor me.
Amazing. That was a great answer. Again, not to keep talking about myself, but I remember when I was doing the marathon, I worked out kind of what £26 and 20p would do, because I was like, if I'm having to run all these miles, then we can equate it back to something that's going to make a difference for this amazing cause. So just a couple of questions to finish on, going back to running. What are you most excited for or looking forward to Marathon Day?
I think there's two things I'm excited for. I'm actually really excited about promoting running within the school as well, because obviously I'm running the marathon, but within that we really want to kind of inspire the children to maybe try running or take up running, and I think this is a really good opportunity to kind of launch that within the school as well. So I'm excited to see how the children what they think about running and see if they get excited by it as well. And then obviously the day, even though I'll be completely full of all of the nerves, I'm really excited to hopefully getting to the finish, and seeing the crowds and feeling really inspired and really motivated at the end.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like getting to the finish is a very low bar target given your running history. I think, fingers crossed you'll be absolutely fine there. Um, it's really interesting that you mentioned the students, because I was going to ask you about that. Kind of what role does running play at the moment in your academy, and what role do you think this sort of inspirational marathon experience could help your students uh, to find a love of running?
Yeah, so we've got lots of children that are amazing at physical education, and they've got lots of kind of interests, and I think it's interests that they're aware of. So football for us is really big. So I think it's about maybe thinking about how we can show how running can be helpful, both mentally and physically. And so I'm hoping to work with some other running coaches where we can have some running workshops. So children have the experience of kind of the importance of warming up, what a run can look like, and obviously every run is different. So sometimes it might be a really good run, sometimes it might not be, but that's okay, because it's the movement is the thing that's important. And then just thinking about, maybe they might like to take part in a race or so, because I think within this place we would be promoting the mini marathon as well, which obviously happens just the day before the big one. And I think it would be a really, amazing moment if lots of our children could take part in that as well.
You keep reading my mind, because that was my last question. So we're hoping to have lots of Harris Academy students taking part in the mini marathon, as you say. And if I was, say, a year 5 or a year 6, and I was taking part and I was a bit nervous, what words of advice would you give to me about taking part?
I think I would say just try your best, because that's all, that's what we can do. Enjoy it. And it doesn't matter, you don't have to run the whole way. It's about making it to the end, so you could walk for a bit, run for a bit, but do it. Don't put it off, because actually when you get to the finish, that feeling is amazing and indescribable, I think. So definitely do it, it's worth it.
Amazing. And that is motivating me to want to get my trainers out tonight and go for a run. Thank you so much for talking to me today and telling me a bit about your involvement with the Harris Federation in the London Marathon 2024.